Okay, so starting with beads, I'm gonna set, I have 2 equal bowls here so that we can measure properly and really see the difference accurately. And I'm on a weighted ounce. I'm gonna put that on there, and then I'm gonna tear the scale, which resets it back to 0, so we're not measuring the weight of the bowl. And remember, I'm pouring 4 weighted ounces. All right. So here now we have 4 ounces by weight. Turn that off for a second until we get over to oils. So now I'm doing 4 ounces by volume, which is going to be half a cup. And if you've watched my other videos, I do half a cup of beads to every tablespoon of fragrance oil. So I really am low on beads here, so I think I can just barely make half a cup. Yeah, that's half a cup. I'm gonna set that aside. All right, so we have 4 ounces by weight here and 4 ounces by volume there. So as you can see, there are a lot more beads in this one, in the weighted, than there is in the volume measurement. All right, so now we're going to do the fragrance oil. So we need 1 ounce, weighted ounce of fragrance oil. We're gonna start with the leather, which is the heavier of the 2 oils. I'm not even sure if a weighted ounce will fit in this cup, because this cup is by volume. I can't see them. 1 ounce by volume. So honestly, don't know if this is, oh yeah, we're gonna get it. Okay, I'm gonna get the towel because I have spilled some. All right, so I really don't even need to measure out a volume 1 ounce. Actually, I was supposed to do half an ounce, but I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna come around. So if you can see, that actually hit my 1 ounce line perfectly. I don't know if you can tell. But since we are doing just pour that back in there. I'm going to do what I meant to do in the first place and only pour half a weighted ounce. Which should, based on what we just saw, there we go, should give me 1 tablespoon, and it does. All right, so now I want to see how much of difference it makes when I pour this lighter oil. So we're gonna do there we go. It's kind of right on the edge. All right. Okay, so we have our two. I'm gonna bring y'all down to, these are actually, so the different oils, there is a bit of a difference, but really, I mean, how much? If I look at this one, it's measuring at 3 teaspoons, and this one's just under. So see, even with the oils, the difference in weight is so minimal from oil to oil. I mean, like I've gotten 2 bottles of different oils this size, and of the whole bottle, maybe one had a tiny bit less in it than the other one all the way to the top. So when you split this up between 8 jars, the difference is drops. But so look at the difference. Let's look here at the difference between weighted ratio and volume ratio. So by weight, there's more beads. By volume, there's less. But our oil is basically came out the same regardless of weight versus volume. These, I mean, half an ounce came out to 1 tablespoon. So if you're doing weighted and you're doing the 8-to-1 ratio, which is on the low end, you can do the 8-to-2, then this is what you're looking at, as opposed to this. Now, you can do this is the 8-to-1 ratio. If you're doing the 8-to-2, then it would almost be here. So right now, I'd say the fragrance oil that I'm adding to my beads is about as much as they could take. But now you can see the difference, you know, whether you've watched different tutorials and you've wondered, well, what's the difference between weighing my beads and weighing my fragrance oil, or just measuring it with a measuring cup? This is it. So now you can see the different ways at the same time, and you don't need to do the experiment yourself to figure out the difference or figure out which way you want to do it. Like I said, I'm not going to say that either way is right or wrong. I know that the way that I've been doing it works. I'm sure this way works too. I think it's a matter of preference. Now, I will say that if you go over the ratio on the measuring by volume, you could end up putting too much fragrance oil in your beads and them not fully absorbing and wasting oil. And that's why the comment was made on my video, because she had run into that problem. So, but you could, to this amount of beads right here, you could actually add 2 ounces, which would come out to the same ratio as this, because they looks about half of what this is. I don't know if you can really see well, but. So I hope y'all enjoyed this little experiment. Let me know if it was helpful. I hadn't seen anybody else. I searched YouTube and I searched Google to see if anybody else had already done this, and I couldn't find any videos or anything explaining or showing the difference. So I hope this is helpful.